a towel or something like that. If you want to go ahead and grab something like that real quick, and set it up in a roll. This is optional too. You may not need this, and if you don't have one, it's fine. You won't. It's a little more intense without the roll, actually, and we're wanting to soften things. So put that to your side, on the side, and lay flat on your belly so that you can take a moment to arrive. One ear to mat, arms by your side. Close your eyes. Bring your awareness away from the screen. So we love the screen. We're so grateful to have this technology, and also we want to tune right into our body and how we feel right now. So feel the belly down. We don't often lay down on our belly on a firm surface, so just notice this feeling. Take one breath in, feel the rise, and a breath out. Let your head just be. If you do have a little roll, you can roll it up and place it right under your chest. So it's just going to sneak right under the chest line. So not quite on the low belly, but just right below your chest. Right arm under left arm for our right shoulder, and it will actually be our left shoulder too. The way to do this is to sneak the right arm all the way under you. My palm is up, and the left arm, and you're threading the needle, weaving that left arm and right arm away from each other. Kind of sneak the arms away from each other. The arms are fairly straight. Maybe inchworm over this formation. Bow your head. If you need a pillow or something to put your head down on, you can do that. You can use a block if you have it. You can use your little doggy for support maybe. Under your head, they might move around and start to lick your face, but that could be a nice thing. So if this roll under you, it's really designed, the reason why I have you do it is because it makes it more gentle. So you might have to inch it up or down if it feels like it's digging in too much, or you might have to unroll it. You may not need to use it at all. The other option is to not have the left arm doing it. Just have the right arm. You guys stay. If you guys are in the shape, you know the shape, you're happy, it's working, stay. But I want to show you, for some of you that might not know how to do this one. It's basically this stretch here, but you're laying on your belly. So I have my right arm under and my left arm on top, and I'm using my body weight and gravity to melt onto my arms. And we're not trying to force anything. This is just going to open the side of the shoulder and create some space here. Again, this roll is not necessary at all. Makes it a little easier. And you also can just do the right arm. So we're here for a few more minutes. See if you can relax your head. See if you can release tension in your glutes. Often in this shoulder opener, I notice my glutes start to tense up and grip. And so we just relax the glutes. The more of the body we can release, the more the shoulders will start to feel ease of tension. So that's an important note too that I'd love to remind us all in the yin, is that we're not trying to force, pull, yank on anything. We are very simply easing tension and build up and stagnation and kind of stuckness. We're easing that out of our body and mind, which in turn has the most valuable results I know of. This is one of my favorite modalities of all time. I believe yin is one of the missing links for many people, including athletes. Athletes that do practice yin or think something like this do definitely have shown to improve their performance. So it's just, besides that, how about just relaxing the stress out of our body and letting our being just be and knowing you don't have to do anything. So if you don't feel too much, you might inch the arms farther away from each other. Some people have really open shoulders. It's just going to depend on your body. Might depend a little on your bone structure as well. Most importantly is that we're here, we're breathing, we're taking time to be present with ourself. That is, to me, the most valuable part, and the stretches and the shapes are bonus. Notice the shoulder blades and the spreading of the tissues there. Take one breath in. Slowly exhale, lift up just enough to unwind your arms. Take a moment in Sphinx. Bow your head. Sphinx is 11 with the forearm. Head bows, yes and no. Massage through the back of your neck. Often the neck gets tight and holds, often because of the shoulders, quite a bit of the time. The shoulders need to loosen up first. Next, other side. Left arm under, right arm over. And we get to relax here for 3 minutes. The legs are doing absolutely nothing. In fact, the legs are so relaxed that they can be wide, they can just be kind of hanging out. The glutes relaxed, belly even is soft. And for some of us, if you've been joining me in Sculpt, I really hope you're here with the yin. As much as we work our core and work our body, the opposite is equally important. So the belly really loves the chance to relax and not to have to feel tense and hold. And or not always, but there's a lot of stress on getting that core strong. And one of the ways to develop resilient core, and abdominal specifically I'm talking about, is to give it a chance to relax and to give the area and even the skin and the tissues, that whole area of the abdomen, just let it, sometimes it's gripping in there and we don't know. We don't even realize it. So purposefully and intentionally give your belly permission to just be as it is. It's such a brilliant part of our body that does so much for us. And we're letting it soften and melt into the floor to get a massage. Feeling the shoulders. Probably that's where you feel the most sensation. And now we can tap into where you feel it. There's no wrong place to feel it. You may be releasing in the left shoulder or maybe even in the right shoulder, depending. If there's any grip happening in the arms or the fingers, soften them. See what part of your body can get heavier, just meltier. And now we'll just practice this art of being. We're all together from wherever our home is. We can be still and silent together. Just breathing into the sensation that we feel. See if your head can relax, and if the head's not on the floor, put something under it so the head can rest. Relax the hinge of your jaw. Take one more breath in this shape. Notice how even the breath expands the body, feeling the shoulders open, and the exhale just melts. Start to release the pose, nice and slow. All the way to Sphinx. Check it out in your Sphinx pose, bow your head. If it feels okay to let your head relax, go for that. Just a little, so the neck doesn't need huge amounts of stretching. They're yanking or cranking, you're just letting it relax, letting the shoulders relax. So, if we were to roll and actually be done, your arms, and you might take a notice, maybe even on your back for a moment, to feel what do your shoulders feel like now? What does your neck feel like now? Because in that short amount of time, we just did 3 minutes each, you might feel quite a bit of a release there, which is nice to check out. As you're ready, this is where I have the plan for the block. So first I'll show you with the block, and if you don't have a block, there's lots of different things you can do. Actually, I'll show you without the block first. You can do a side stretch. This is actually really phenomenal for this right side body. I'm just kind of leaning and lounging into it. In this case, you can actually bring the shoulder up just a bit, but you still want to keep that shoulder head back. And this is for that right side body, which feels pretty good. You also can reach that right elbow in front of you and kind of melt into this lat on your side. One other option, real briefly, before I show you the block, this is actually what I would choose. This is what I would choose. So if you don't have a block, puppy pose, walk the hands to the left, elbows down, palms, fingertips up, melt into right armpit lat area. Okay? So, and you'll just stay there for the whole time. So just go ahead and get into that if you don't have a block. I think that's really a lovely one. I could do that one every day, all day, and be happy for the rest of my life. If you have the block, I'm using cork. It's my favorite for this kind, but any block will do. Level 2, so the medium height. Place it in the center of your mat. So the block is going to go on your armpit. Now see if you can put the top edge of the block in the armpit crease, and the bottom edge will just be right below, a little bit side of the ribs, just a little bit. So your armpit is in the center of the block. If you're off to one edge or the other, you won't have enough space to do the next part. So just notice if you're in the center and use your right hand to hold your head. You may already feel something, especially if you have a cork block that's a little more firm than a foam. You can adjust a little up or down and see if you can let your body rest into the block, because what tends to happen is the tissues hold and tighten, especially if you want to dig in and try to find the sensation by digging in, the tissues will tighten. So we actually just let the block melt the tissues, and so that they can change their response. This is a little bit of the rotator cuff, a little some stabilizers for the shoulder that work really hard and that can get aggravated. Now you'll roll forward, more toward the armpit, more toward the chest, and you'll roll back. Back is a little bit more intense for me. That's a little more of the back of the rotator cuff, the side of it. Maybe some lats there. Find a spot that feels helpful. So you might massage out right to left, and now find a spot that feels like you can melt into that. It might not be the most high level sensation. Sometimes I just immediately go to the highest level sensation because I think that's the best one that I need most of. But sometimes that grips and holds. So just find something you can rest into. The left arm, so my knees are just kind of relaxed. My left arm is either supporting me or it could hook loosely at the back. And now we stay. I have seen some people rest their head in other ways, maybe fist to the head, but we do really want to encourage the head to be supported somehow, because if the head is holding, the shoulders are holding the head up. And our purpose is to undo and unwind the entire shoulder joint, and just let all the areas surrounding it relax, which will in turn help our neck release as well. So noticing the feeling in your shape. Those of you in puppy pose, it's a similar area. It's that right outer armpit area that we're kind of targeting. You're just not getting this same compression is all. That's okay, we're just here for another breath or two. Relax your jaw, maybe close your eyes. See if you can tune right into the sensation you feel. Sometimes if I'm short on time or I just want to do one thing, it's this. This is the one I pick. I learned it from Tiffany Cruikshank of Yoga Medicine, who has a lot of it. I noticed I was holding up a little and I just was able to soften. So see if you can just soften a little bit more for these last moments on this part. And now we'll bring that left hand in front of us. You can go back to the puppy pose, so you're more to center if you're in puppy pose, those of you without the block. If you're on the block, we'll roll toward the right armpit and kind of see if we can bow our head. This will be the pecs. Okay, so this will be more of the chest, getting a little compression there, just for the last few breaths. This one feels good. This one feels really nice. You might have to angle or adjust. Let's see if you can actually rest your whole body over the block so the edge is just above the armpit and the bulk of the block is on your chest, your right pec area. Pec major, maybe a little pec minor, and then just rest. Okay, so those of you in puppy, maybe just lay down on your belly in between sides or on your back. Move your block away, lay down on your back. Really important to check out the pose in between. So we're receiving it now, actually. So just take a moment to feel that right arm and feel the left arm. All we're doing is we're finding awareness, because since this is such a sensory class, the brain, mind, body connection is so important. So it's very helpful to feel the awareness of that. You might feel different temperature, circulation in that right side. You might not feel much, and that's okay. We're just taking the time in between that we don't often do. So let's do our left side. Rolling to your other side. Those of you in puppy, you'll do, your arms will work to the right this time for your left. I'll show you real briefly. Those of you that don't have a block, man, I love this pose too so much. The arms forward, walk the hands to the right. Your left hip is kind of working away from you. We're melting our left armpit, maybe prayer hands. And you'll stay with that, making it easy enough to hang out for a few minutes. Block, center of your mat. Left elbow to earth. Top edge of block and armpit, right in the center of the block. So the top edge, you might need to adjust it a little. And we'll start by melting in. Sometimes the angle of the block needs to be adjusted, and you just kind of want it in line with your, you'll intuit what feels right for you. Roll back a little bit and roll forward a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really getting right into the juice here. If you don't have a block and you're wanting one, I recommend cork. I like cork for yin, and I recommend for power yoga, recycled foam is usually good. Cork, it's harder to keep clean, but it is a little more firm. So just you want to dense firm. Manduka makes a really nice product, and they're eco-friendly and a really good company. Manduka, M-A-N-D-U-K-A. Might be nice to just order the block you can use for 10 million things. So that's a nice little gift to yourself. You just need one. It's fine to get two. If you might as well get two, but you really just, one will be sufficient. So we're melting into the block, and now we'll roll back and forth again until you find a spot you want to hang out in. It's just going to depend on how you use your arms and shoulders, and what might feel a little more sensitive, what might feel like it's helpful. Once you find a spot, there's plenty. Just melt into it. Make adjustment as needed. If it's too intense, you could put a towel or that blanket over the block, and that'll soften it. The right arm is just hanging out relaxed or hooking behind you. And we're really supporting our head. So our head can feel very held, and in turn it will give us an opportunity to relax these tissues in the armpit that get overlooked often. This is a skipped area, and it's hard to access really, and so even if you're a puppy, you're getting it too. The compression in this area is very helpful. There's a lot of lymph here. It's a gentle compression. Sometimes the more subtle, the more effective. A lot of stuff gets held and built up in the armpits. It might be why sometimes if you ate something, or maybe you're detoxing, or you can have a smell out of the armpits more than like somewhere else. A lot of stuff gets stored in the armpit and held there. So what we're doing here is just profoundly, that's why it's just one of my go-to top number one things, because it has the ability to access the whole body and release the whole body because of the lymphatic system and all the lymph here. So without thinking too much about any of that, just you don't need to know any of those necessarily, all those details, but you do get to feel how nutritional and restorative and rejuvenating this is for your body. And a lot of it is just being still. A lot of it is that stillness for the mind and the body. So let's stay here for just another breath or two. See what part of the exhale can just let you be, let you melt. Let any of the tension dissipate. Those of you in puppy, work back to neutral. So you're still in puppy, but arms more forward. On the block, roll to your pecs, release. So you'll bring your arms down and adjust so that you're much more on the front of the chest. See if you can rest your way to your forearms or a blanket or something. And you're also getting a little side stretch, a little belly. Just a breath or two here. See what part of your body you can relax. Maybe your jaw. Just get heavy on the block for one more moment. And now we'll start to release and lay all the way on your back. Move the props to the side. One last one before we do, actually we have two more. One last one before one more last one. Lay down and just check out that feeling in that left arm and right arm. Feet wide, knees tucked in. Take rest. Those of you that don't have a block, what you'll do is interlace your hands behind your head and massage your occiput, the base of your skull, with your thumbs, and you might even lift your head and just rock it left to right a little bit. So you'll just play with what feels good. With the block, we'll keep it on level 2 and bring our head to it. Keep the block flat, just so that it feels very stable and it's on a medium height. Usually that's the one that works for almost everyone, but you can adjust it as needed. Now, bring the edge of the block closest to your body, to you, right where the bony part of your head meets the soft tissues. So it's just right. So it's not going to be really low down on your neck. That won't really help. And it's not going to be all the way up on your head. That might kind of feel good to massage your skull. But what we're going for is the occiput area. So right at the base of the head where it meets the soft tissue, and let your head rest in it onto the block. And now with the feet wide, knees knocked in for the pelvis, bring your head to the right and to the left slowly, back and forth, as if you're just smoothing out these tissues, like a sponge just flushing out the fluid there to hydrate these little tissues that work hard to hold up the head. And now the next time the head comes back to center, stay. Okay, take a moment to notice if you're pushing into the block to receive sensation, and try to just let yourself not do anything at all, so the shoulders drop and the head just rests into the block. So there's very, very little, minimal effort, if any. Now bring the head halfway to the right. So actually bring your head all the way to the right as far as it will go, as far range of motion as it will go. And now just come halfway back to center. Draw little circles with your nose, little ones, tiny little ones. Little circles the other way. We're in a little rich area of tissue that can sometimes hold a little bit, so we're just massaging that out. Not trying to force, not trying to push into it, just little circles. Now be still and rest there, and just see if you can melt the skin over the block without pushing anything. Let the shoulders soften. Head back to center. Now go all the way to the left, as far to the left as your head will go with ease. Halfway back, so the nose just comes halfway back. Little circles, to baby circles, tiny little ones. Drawing little circles with your nose the other way. And it's subtle, and you're still connected to the block. When you're ready, find stillness and notice if you're trying to push in, and release that urge to kind of dig in there, and just let the shoulder heads melt back away from ears, and let the head get this nice subtle traction. If it feels like too much, you could be on that lower level. Those of you without the block, you can be massaging your head with your thumbs, and you can also traction your head away from you. Back to center. Notice how this drops your nervous system, relaxes your mind quite a bit. This is down-regulating to the system, very much so. So your head will come right to left now, very slow, to flush any last little bit out that got moved around. Real slow, just real slow, side to side. Notice how calm you feel. Come back to center. Notice your eyebrows relax, forehead relax. Use one of your hands to hold your head, to support it, really support it, so you can release the block with the other hand and lower your head down to the earth, arms to side. Take a moment to feel. Right where the block was, just feel that area. Just tuning right into that release. So we'll set up for Shavasana now with a couple things to maximize it. You can of course lay down in your full Shavasana here. Rest. If you'd like, you could grab your roll. And what we'll do is we'll set up for legs up the wall. With the roll, we'll go under our shoulder blades. So kind of help yourself out a little bit. It's always nice to support your head. And roll up the mat, the blanket into just a nice thick roll, however much you like. This is a chest opener, and you'll scoot it close enough that your butt will come sideways to your wall, and you might have to adjust this roll once you get down. And now walk the legs up the wall as you bring. So my roll needed to come closer to the wall. So you want that roll under your shoulder blades so the arms can lay out and the legs can come up the wall. If that roll is too much, if this hurts the back at all, I planned this out in my head, but it just doesn't feel super comfortable to me. Right now, my roll is too big. You can do this not at the wall. I wanted to do too many things at once. I think it's a little too much. Or you could scoot that prop to put under your butt and lay your legs up the wall. And the reason why I wanted legs up the wall is we just focused on the upper body, the shoulders. So I wanted the legs a chance to get a little inversion, a little reverse blood flow. You could lift up, kind of flatten that blanket up. You also can keep that, if that roll felt good, go for it. It was a little bit too, felt compressing on the low back to me, so sorry about that one. Just relax your head, relax your chest. Let your legs be easy on the wall. Just giving yourself this time to feel the support underneath you. Feel how you're held. Remember that there is nothing you have to do. There is no better you that you need to become in this moment at all. The you that's in you is light and love, and it's the same as what's in me. It's always there for you, always. Nothing to reach for, nothing to try hard to get to. Right inside of your heart, inside of your soul. You are love, exactly as you are. Let your breath relax, let your whole body surrender into your Shavasana. I'll call you out in a few minutes. Enjoy. Maybe staying your legs up the wall. If you feel that you have some, you'd like to stay there, please do, as long as you like. Otherwise, bend your knees, roll gently to your side. Take as much time as you need to come up up to a seat. Noticing how your shoulders and neck feel. Noticing your mind and your calm. Hands to heart. Peace in our hearts, peace in the world. Thank you. Namaste.